What it do, what it do, what it do? It's your boy from the zoo. It's Aaron on Filter. You're in the building. You're welcome.
Thanks, Daddy.
Yo, something slid across my desk, you dig, when it's pertaining to rapper Boosie and DJ Vlad. Let's see what Boosie got to say.
Y'all on social media trying to make this like it's a beef between me and Vlad, bro. Like, that's my guy, bro. Like, I can call Vlad right now, bro, and we'll laugh about shit, bro. Like, me trying to find a, better way to make more money out of my interviews. I'm a hustler, bro. Like, if two people can't agree on something, that's what people do. Like, it's nothing, man. It's no big deal at all, bro. Like, call Vlad right now. We're gonna laugh this shit out, bro. Like, but me, trying to hustle and make more money if I can, that's what hustlers do, bro.
We already know how social media gets. People start spinning webs of lie, and then next thing you know, one thing leads to another. People are no longer friends no more because other people get up in their ear. It's been going on since the time of Moses, you heard? It's just a saying. It doesn't mean that it actually happened. Never mind, fuck it.
Let me get to the damn fucking part.
We're gonna see what Vlad had to say about this situation, you heard?
Welcome to an episode of 1090J TV. I am interviewing the legendary Vlad TV. And the first question that we're gonna pop this off with is,
yo, why Vlad cheesing like that, God? Yo, Vlad cheesing mad hard right now. Like, if he could blush, he would blush right now. He's 2 seconds away from doing it. That dude's smiling from ear to ear. Like, he happy to see Jake, or he happy to get interviewed for once. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm finally important. I get to actually have an opinion. People want to hear what I'm thinking. Yo, I'm sorry. Let's move forward.
me and you were connected through Boosie. And Boosie is one of my favorite interviewees that you've had on your platform. I'm watching every time it drops, and I'm now hearing that he's going up in price. He may be moving away from Vlad TV. What are your comments on this situation?
Well, look, me and Boosie, our business relationship goes back 20 years. Before Vlad TV, when I was doing DVDs and I was holding the camera and going to Atlantic Records and filming him and Webby, and we'll show a little clip of that. It'll show how far we really go back.
You ever run into any of the cats that bit off you?
Nah, we ain't ran into them yet, you know what I'm saying? But they know who they is.
And me and Boosie have had a good relationship, a great relationship, a friendship, a business relationship. I've been to his house a bunch of times. I met his family. And originally, I wasn't paying him to do interviews. But over time, as the views kept going up and people were really gravitating towards these interviews, we started working out appearance fees. And the fees slowly went up. And over the last couple of years, the fee that we actually stuck at was around was $25,000 per interview. And that price was justified because Boosie was pulling in like 6 million views for every interview. And in that particular situation, and I showed Boosie all the numbers and all my back-end numbers and so forth, when he was getting around 5.5 million views, I would make around 35,000 off that interview, and he would make 25,000, right? So I had a $10,000 profit margin. He still made the majority of the money, but I was still making $10,000, so I was cool with that, right? And we were rocking like that for years. So some time had passed. It was, I don't know, about 6, 7, 8 months since our last interview. So I just hit him up one day, a couple of weeks ago, and we had a conversation. And this conversation was a private business conversation, but Boosie recently did a live where he revealed parts of this conversation. And in his live, he said that he had asked for $5,000 more, and I said no, which is why he's not going to do the interview.
Before we get to that part right there, Vlad seen substance within Boosie and know that he had to be televised because it's more to this man. They need to see the real him that he gets to see in real life. So he took a chance in saying, you know what? I have these X type of rappers always coming to my show and always being interviewed. Let me start getting the perspective of artists that are way more established that people know of.
I wanted $5,000 more than he wanted to pay me. He didn't want to pay me, so I think I'm gonna make more money doing it this way. And I'm editing my interview now.
Now, that's not exactly accurate. So, I wasn't gonna put any of this out there, but because he started putting out numbers out there and people started going, oh, Vlad being cheap, why is it only $5,000? You could pay him that, not knowing the whole picture. So I'm gonna lay out the whole picture for everyone just to explain what exactly is going on. So when I called Boosie, like I said, the fee had always been $25,000. He said, I want $40,000. And I'm like, fam, I can't do $40,000. That's just putting me in the hole in a situation like this. And he's like, well, I'll go as low as 35. And I'm like, man, listen, I might be able to do 30 after I run the numbers, but 35 is definitely out of the question. But let me go ahead and run my numbers and actually see what's going on. So I went back and I looked through the last, 5 or 6 interviews. And I looked, and the profit margin on each of these interviews was around $10,000. So I showed him the numbers. I sent him a spreadsheet showing him my back-end numbers. And I'm like, bro, the most I could do is 25.
Now, what most people don't understand is they have an opinion and they want to weigh in on this. And there's a lot of people that are not business owners. So when you're talking about overhead costs and what comes out of your pocket off rip, you already know what it is and how much it totals up every single week. That you know what your profit margins are. You can't overspend and go over that budget. Boosie wants more.
I don't give a.
And we all know it's over the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation.
Bruh.
And as a man, whoa, pause, wait for a second. I'm not saying that Boosie's jealous, but it can come off to other people like Boosie has a little green eye or a red eye. Tekashi has always had this viral moment for some strange reason. And the moment he shows up, he shows out. We're gonna get to it.
You're asking for 35. Your traffic has been dipping over the years. You've gone from about 6 million to about 5.5 to about 5 and some change.
He's not dissing him. He's just pointing out facts and a conversation. Since Boosie brought it to the public, he's pointing out what he actually had a conversation with Boosie about as far as the numbers is concerned.
So you're looking at about maybe a 10-15% decrease in views, which means a 10 to 15% decrease in revenue, as you know, but you're asking for a 40% increase in appearance fee. A 40% increase. It doesn't make any business sense, because what'll end up happening is, look, Boosie's already at home, right? He wakes up, he does the interview. There's no cost associated with him, and he was getting paid $25,000. I have to fly because I don't have a studio or a camera crew in Georgia, in Atlanta, so I have to hire a camera crew in Atlanta. I have to fly from LA to Atlanta. I have to get a hotel. I have to have all the costs associated with it. And then afterwards, I have to pay to get the video edited and pay my crew and everything else like that. And as you know with YouTube, I'm taking all the risk because sometimes videos get demonetized, right? Especially when you talk about someone like a Boosie who has, he swears, he's talking about a lot of edgy stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm taking 100% of the risk.
Do y'all really, now that you heard Vlad say this out of his own mouth, do y'all feel as if Vlad is wrong for turning down extra $5,000?
So I'm like, listen, I cannot pay you $35,000 when I'm gonna make nothing. Or maybe I'm even gonna take a loss. And Boosie is like, yo, you're being cheap. And I said, I'm not being cheap. I'm being put in a situation where you make all the money and I make none of the money. It simply doesn't make any business sense.
Well, let me ask you, what was it that caused the price hike? Because I feel like it would be more understandable if he just beat a major case or if something significant happened, and you know what I mean? Like sometimes we see rappers go through crazy things and everybody wants that breaking story. What was it that you think caused this to come about?
I don't know. I know Sean Cotton, me and Sean actually had a conversation about this yesterday. He had put out a video where he said that he had heard from someone that Boosie was upset because I had mentioned that I paid Tekashi more than I'd ever paid anyone else. And that might be the reason. I've never actually asked Boosie to confirm this, but if that is true, you guys have to understand, Tekashi brought in like 20 million views. It was the biggest interview of 2025. It was the big.
He just said exactly what I said before. Tekashi knows how to go viral. Tekashi knows how to trigger the internet. Y'all gotta remember, very first time he started getting on social media to promote himself, to use himself as far as an artist, a rapper, he trolled the internet.
Biggest meme of 2025. The whole I stole that shit.
Stole that shit. That's what I do. I stole that shit.
Yeah.
That's still being used. There's a Trump version.
Stole that shit. That's what I do.
Stop it. Yo, stop it. I can't, yo. Yo, shout out to whoever did this. Yo. Whoever did this, shout out, salute to you, you heard? Yo, you got it, homie, you got it.
I stole that shit, and I stole it, like, bro, honestly,
Yo, the way he got Trump moving like a gangster, moving like a street dude. Yo, it's crazy, God. Let's go.
talk facts.
There was all types of stuff. It was a huge interview. And for that particular interview, yes, I paid more than I paid anyone else, but that was a one-off. The other Tekashi interviews were not, that same price, right? Because they didn't get those same type of views. I've paid Boosie way more than I paid Tekashi. Way more.
And not only
If you talking to, and with anybody saying that he might be wrong or he might be lying, think about it. If they have a longer relationship and he's been on the platform much more longer than Tekashi 6ix9ine, he probably received way more money throughout the years being interviewed by Vlad. Especially if Vlad is talking about he was paying him 25. He probably made way more money than what he wants to give Vlad the credit for as of right now. Yeah, it can come off kind of greedy. Come on, let's go.
that, it doesn't seem like Tekashi is that consistent versus Boosie is more of a recurring guest.
Yeah,
and I hope that Boosie, I don't wish, whatever direction he chooses to go, but I hope he realizes the power and the dynamic that you two have. Because both of you mesh very well, and it's the presentation entirely that makes it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think me and Boosie play off each other very well. So Boosie went on live. Like I said, I wasn't gonna say any of this. This was just gonna be a private conversation between me and Boosie, and if people ever asked, I'd be like, oh, well, me and Boosie just busy, and at some point we might hook up or not. I mean, it is what it is. That's my man. But he decided to make a video, and in the video he said, yeah, I'm gonna do the interview myself, and I'm gonna have my kids interview me, and I think I'll make more money this way. And I'm actually glad that Boosie is going that direction, because he'll get to see for the first time how much money is actually made. And
Right.
Boosie has his own channel.
How much work goes into it.
Yeah, he'll actually get a crash course on the other side of the business, because Boosie's never been a YouTube guy. He's been, a music guy. He's been, getting shows. That's where most of his money comes from. So he'll get to see what I've gone through on my end. Because right now, Boosie's now had to pay for his own cameraman. He's got to pay for his own editing. He's having costs right now, which he never had before, doing interviews with me. And he'll get to see exactly how much revenue he'll get. For him to make more than 25,000, he's going to have to bring in 5-6 million views. At least 4 million views. In order to make that back. And I hope he makes it. At the end of the day, man, everyone transitions and everyone, businesses change and people have different priorities and everything else like that. Maybe Boosie will be okay getting less money but owning the content.
You know what? He just said that true shit. Nothing lasts forever. You heard? The creator and the ancestors put people in your life for a reason at that particular moment in time. Doesn't mean that it will always last forever. Now, some people are lucky enough to have situations like that last for a very long time, probably a lifetime. Most of us will never be able to know what that feels like. You gotta be okay with that and wish people the best, because everybody's not meant to be in your life forever.
He ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying, And it doesn't mean that y'all actually fell out in no way, shape, fashion, or form. We're moving in two different ways when it comes to life. Let's move forward.
It's really up to Boosie. It's not up to me, but I think it's good, and I want everyone to watch that interview that he puts out himself. And people can come to their own conclusions, but I can almost guarantee that after Boosie goes through this process, he'll see that Vlad has been fair with him this whole time. Vlad has been 100 with him this whole time. we've never really had, up to this point, we never had like a business disagreement. You know, at times where Boosie's like, oh, well, I thought I was going to, get this. And I'm like, okay, cool, you can have it. I'm not tripping. You know, because for me, the relationship is more important than anything else. It's the business relationship.
100%.
That's solid right there. That's solid. That's solid.
Really, like I said, for years now, I've been giving Boosie the majority of the money. He's been making 25, I've been making 10. I've been okay with that. But at the point where he makes 35 and I make 0, then
Who you know that's gonna do that? You ain't even got family members that'll do that for you, you heard? It's very rare that you see anybody that you don't invest in them, let alone have a share in their business, giving you majority of their stake, their income that comes in. That's crazy. If that's not a friend, I don't know what is. Loyalty is loyalty at the end of the day, man. Sometimes you gotta learn how to keep stuff off the internet, you heard?
then I can't do that anymore. That's just the reality of it, man. And the thing is, the fact that he put out the $5,000 thing, people didn't understand what it was, because it's like, oh, well, if he's getting 50, and that's just another 5,000, that's a little 10% increase, what's the big deal? Well, no, he was making 25 and he asked for another 10. You know, I think the 5,000 came from, I said maybe I could do 30, but he wanted 35, and then I had to back up off that 30 after running the numbers. So really, he's asking for another 10,000, and that's the truth, man. That's the absolute truth. And I just want to say that regardless of what happens, Boosie is my guy, and we've done classic content together. You'll never, ever hear me say anything bad about Boosie, ever. I wish him all the best. He has a beautiful family, super talented, a great interviewee. Anybody is lucky to have Boosie on their platform. But the kind of money that he's asking, I don't know anyone that'll pay him $35,000. Not to say he's not worth it. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not telling Boosie what his worth is. People are worth whatever they think they're worth. But I'm saying in terms of the market.
You heard what he said? That he can't do it himself. Not saying that he can get that type of money. He just can't give it to him. That's no different than the Marlon Wayans situation. Marlon Wayans wanted more money for an interview. Vlad turned it down. He said he don't know nobody that'll pay him that amount of money, let alone give him all the perks that he wanted in the contract to go with it. Well, Marlon did that with Shannon Sharp and then reposted it out there and put Vlad in it and said that, see, told you. Because Vlad said he don't know no one that'll pay him that type of money, and he's not as, the Wayans are not as interesting as the way how they used to be back in the day. And Marlon made him eat his own words. He's not trying to go there with Boosie because they're friends. So he's really treading lightly.
And you have a YouTube channel. I mean, if Boosie asked you for $35,000 to do an interview, would you do it?
No.
Yeah.
I would pass on that. And I also think that one of the elements that he's not taking into consideration, you know, if he plans on dropping this on his own YouTube channel, he has to understand you have to remain consistent. Otherwise, your active viewers on your channel is going to drop. So if you only have a very limited amount of people actively watching and you drop a video, it's not going to go as viral as you think. Versus Vlad TV, the platform with over 6 million subscribers, is dropping multiple videos every single day. When you have over 1 million to 2 million active viewers currently watching, these videos are going platinum immediately. And I don't think he understands that. He'll figure it out, but
Facts.
I definitely hope to see him back on Vlad TV in the future.
I hope to see Boosie back on Vlad TV in the future as well. We don't have any sort of beef.
You could see it in his face that Vlad is disheartened by the situation, man. That's why sometimes we need A1 Day 1 cats to remind us when we're moving unfamiliar. But let's keep moving.
If you notice, I haven't said one negative thing about this man.
That's true.
Not one. Boosie's dope, man. I love Boosie. And we've had so many moments, the Hypnotized with Hatred, the Come On Dog, like, you know, there's still memes that are floating around. People love me and Boosie. And yeah, he's done other interviews, but I think if you ask any Boosie fan who their favorite interviewer is with Boosie, I think almost all of them will say Vlad.
100%.
And that's not me in my ego or whatever else. I think most people like how me and him do our interviews together, because I push back. I bring up stuff that he wasn't expecting. I don't let him just kind of go in a direction that I disagree with, and there is some back and forth, there is some push and pull, and I think what we do, and we have a good rapport with each other. I know what to ask him, we have a long history and so forth. Can he rebuild that with someone else? Possibly, but it's gonna be some work in order to do that. And like I said, maybe Boosie feels, hey, listen, I'm fine with not making any upfront money. I'd rather just own everything and make less money and build it up over time and so forth. And that's cool. And I remember one of the things that Boosie said was like, oh, you're gonna keep making money forever on this thing. But the reality is that YouTube videos don't really make money forever.
No.
There's a big jump in the beginning and then it starts to go to zero. A few blips happen every so often, but really most of the money is made in the first week or so.
Right.
It's not like having like a timeless song. Right? It's not like having like a Wipe Me Down that continues to just kind of keep getting licensed and keep getting played at, concerts and, big sporting events and stuff like that. YouTube is different, man. YouTube, you get a big jump in the beginning and then it'll go down really almost to zero. You might get little blips and so forth. So Boosie will get to experience that for the first time on his own.
At least Vlad is being realistic with the situation. Most people don't know how to be realistic. You get what I'm saying, yo? He's actually spot on.
Platform, and I think it's cool that he's doing his own interviews. There's no bitterness, anger, or whatever else. We just couldn't come up to a business deal that made sense for everybody. And I felt a little bit type of way about it, but I was going to keep it to myself. But then now it was on every blog, like literally every blog had picked that up, and people started coming up with their own conclusions and so forth, because what he put out was very limited. He just said he didn't want to give me an extra $5,000. And from the surface, that sounds like me being cheap or petty or whatever else. And it really wasn't just about that $5,000. It was about the bigger picture. And it was really $10,000, and it was a 40% increase. A 40% increase, which when you look at business, if you want a 40% increase, you have to justify that 40% increase, right? There has to be 40% more revenue. It has to be something. And there wasn't anything there. So I had to say, hey man, I'm passing. And I was gonna leave it at that. But then that live came out. And and he did a video afterwards. He's like, hey, people are trying to pit us against each other. Vlad is my guy. I can call him up, we can laugh about it. And that's 100% true.
Hey, y'all on social media trying to make this like it's a beef between me and Vlad, bro. Like, that's my motherfucking guy, bro. Like, I can call Vlad right now, bro, and we'll laugh about shit, bro. Like,
I am Boosie's guy. He can call me up. We can laugh about it. I love the guy. I think what he's accomplished is incredible. Incredible. He has an incredible home. We've done features on his house before. I've met his kids. I've met his baby. I got bit by his dog at one point. We go back. We go back. I even told him, I remember when I got bit by...
You can tell that he's sincere with it. He actually loved his relationship with the dude, man. His friendship with the dude, man. You can tell that he loves his friendship with the dude, man. With Boosie, man. That's dope, man.
His dog, I'm like, someone gonna sue you for this dog. Because he's like, oh, you're the third person that got bit this week. And I'm like, someone gonna sue you. It ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna sue you, but someone gonna sue you. You gotta, keep that dog under wraps. So we have like a lot of history, man. And, there's people that Boosie had problems with that I sided with him on. Like for example, like the whole Aiden Ross situation. Me and Aiden ended up working out afterwards, but I took Boosie's side on that when he was beefing with Young Blue. I kind of took his side on that. And man, I think I've been a very loyal guy this whole time. I think that me and him have done great business together. We've both made money. We've both gotten new fans. We've all done well with what's been happening up to this point. But then we reached a point, and he said, "Oh, I'm just hustling. If I can make more money, I can." And that's true, but in this particular case, he's trying to make more money by taking away the money that I was gonna make in terms of just the profit margin at all. And that to me just made no sense. So I passed, and that's basically where we are right now.
With that being said, Vlad actually set the record straight. We all, as individuals, we could come up with our own conclusions, but why come up with your own conclusions when it came from the horse's mouth? You get to hear from him himself. Y'all let me know what y'all opinions are. Was Vlad right? Was Boosie right? Go ahead and get the conversation going. I would love to hear what you guys got to say in the comment section, you heard? And converse with you guys back and forth. But you already know what to do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Before you leave and go anywhere, you already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. You heard? We out.